Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel every day in the month of October. It chooses the horror movie, and they discuss it. Today, we're talking about the 1976 film Carrie, which was directed by Brian De Palma. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Erik.
And this is another one of our re-episodes that we recorded last October. Didn't have the greatest quality, so we are re-recording them now. So if you've already heard us talk about this, that's why. It's funny, though. I listened to the last episode just to, hear what we had talked about and stuff.
I don't remember what we said at all. I really have no recollection.
It's not even, what we said. It was, the way that...
how bad it sounded.
Well, I, opened the episode. I'll probably play a clip in this episode of what it sounds like, but it's hi there! I'm Alec, and we're talking about Carrie. And, it's just, very, very different.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but, so we're back talking about Carrie. You had said that this specifically was one that you really wanted to re-record.
I mean, it's one of my favorite horror movies. It's probably my favorite Stephen King book, too. Not that I've read it, but my favorite, movie that's from the book. His books, I would say. Yeah.
It's the first one, too.
Yeah, it's his first novel, right?
It was his first novel, and it was the first adaptation, film adaptation. They spelled his name wrong in the credits. Did you notice that?
Oh, with a V?
It was V, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, they didn't even give a fuck. They're just just give us the story.
Give us the goddamn book for $15. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was when Spider-Man hit the box office back in the day, or X-Men, and every Marvel movie gets bought out. Every one of his books was we're making a movie.
Well, yeah, after this became a success for sure, but then it was I think he's had over 100 of his books adapted into film. Isn't that come on?
He probably hasn't even seen them all. He's I don't really want to see Thinner. I know what happens.
Yeah, maybe.
The made for TV or whatever.
Well, he liked the Shining made for TV better than the Stanley Kubrick one, which is crazy. But
yeah, we talked about that with Dom a lot because in The Shining, it didn't really stick to the book. It did its own thing at the end.
Right. And I think when I think of people like Stephen King, it's kind of like when I think of the Beatles, where I'm I feel like he's a time traveler. He went to the future, saw all these successful books, went back in time and wrote them for himself. I'm kidding, obviously, but it's like a machine that can't be stopped. It's just hit after hit after.
How do you write that many books?
That's what I mean. It's it doesn't make sense.
It's not Goosebumps where you can write 1,000 of those children. These are novels.
Yeah, these are literally some of the best writing that's happened in the last 50 years. And it just, I don't know. I'm blown away by him.
He definitely writes them like R.L. Stein does. It's just and Susie went to the theater where she was you know what I mean? It's very R.L. Stein's very for children. But he probably is I'm just writing this for these loser horror fans. He's just so sick of writing these books probably. I don't know. It's funny though. I was in Bermuda a couple months ago during the summer, and we had a little mini tour thing, and the driver was is anyone a book reader, book fan? I'm not really, but I like Stephen King. And literally it was a weird oh, you like who? And I was Stephen King, and he's that's his house. Literally, I nailed it on the head. What? He was really creeped out. He's how'd you know that? I was I don't know. I didn't know that. I just said Stephen King.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, it was weird. It was weird. He's do you like reading books? You can name any author in the world. And he was going to say, that's Stephen King's house in Bermuda. Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Well, it's even weirder that he's a horror book writer, and you said that too, yeah. Very supernatural.
Yeah.
Well, he got hit by a car, almost died, and then continued writing. That's crazy too. Oh, that's right. You're talking about R.L. Stein. I just found out that Harry Potter is the most sold book series of all time. I guess Goosebumps is the second most sold book series of all time.
Yeah, because there's 1,000 of them. There's 1,000 of them.
I know. Well, that's just kind of crazy to me. I was geez. I mean, yeah, there's literally 100, but the fact that one dude maybe wrote them all. I don't know. I don't really know that much.
I don't know how you write that much. I wrote a 10-page paper in 3 hours one time. It was I was so late. This is in college, my freshman or sophomore year. Completely forgot it was due. I ducked out of one of my other classes to go to the library to crank this paper out. I wrote 10 pages in 3 hours pretty much. And it was horrible. It was horrible written, grammatical errors. I don't know. Anyone can write a 900-page book. I don't get it. And multiple.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Over 100 in 30 years.
They're adapted to
Yeah,
movies.
this like, the second he hands it in, someone's like, "All right, let's take over, we're gonna make a movie out of this, like, next
It's
year." It's
insane.
just
Yeah.
crazy. Anyways, I guess into Carrie then.
Yeah, let's talk Carrie.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Again, love the opening,
Yeah, who doesn't, right?
as
That's
a
that's why I liked this when I was 13. I was like, "Why did I like this movie when I was younger?" It's like, "Oh, that shower scene."
yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, and it really makes me think about, like, the way the MPAA rates stuff because 'cause I'm like, "Okay, this is rated R, and there's a lot of nudity, a lot of murder, just."
Right off the bat.
Yeah, full frontal nudity and then also graphic murder. That gets an R rating, and then you look at again, we talked about Orgasmo, but Trey Parker and Matt Stone's second film gets an NC-17, and the subject material is porn, and it still is like, "No, no, 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 this is way too graphic." So that's an NC-17, but this is R. So I'm always just like, "Why?"
I have no maybe because it's based off of a book. It's like an art form more than like a parody. I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question, but I never understood the rating
Yeah,
system either, and how a movie can
yeah.
stay that rating system once it was decided. Like Jaws is PG. Like, can you imagine like, hey, like, this is like B movie, but it's not B movie. It's Jaws. The two are so different, but like they're both rated the same or whatever.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. It's like maybe they update the ratings for like modern times because Jaws is not
PG
PG.
13, PG 13,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is interesting. They maybe should look back at that with like a retrospective lens, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know. But yeah, so the movie starts off. I mean, we all know the story. It's a tale as old as time. They throw tampons at a girl who has a period when she's 18, and then
yeah.
she breaks a light with her mind.
Who throws a tampon? Like, just a bunch of them. It's like this movie is like a lot of bullying.
This movie is Mean Girls before Mean Girls.
Yeah,
These are the meanest girls ever, dude.
going out of their way. Like, I'm busy. Like, I don't have time to bully people back in high school. Like, I was
It's
busy. But like these girls are like, you know what? I have nothing else going on, so I'm gonna take a lot out on this. I'm gonna like go to their house. It's like, what?
it's the same thing as like with Scream, where I was like, okay, these are like the hot popular people. They've got everything going for them. It's like, don't you have better things to do than
Anything else, like, but they're terrible
yeah.
people. They're all terrible, terrible people. Yeah,
Oh my
and, like, that
god,
opening
yeah.
scene too, dude, like, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like, right off that bat, it's like, "Oh my god." Like, there is full frontal nudity. We are in a woman's bathroom. I was uncomfortable. I did not wanna be there. And then they bully her off the bat. It's like so much happens right at once.
Yeah, and like the only person who's remotely redeemable is the teacher, the gym teacher. But then even she's just like slaps her, and
It's
then
a lot of yeah.
later when she's talking to the principal, she's just like, I even wanted to slap her. I was like, I don't know what the hell's wrong with her. It's just her period. Like they're like, no one has sympathy for her.
There's a lot of slapping in this movie too. Like John Travolta slaps his girlfriend. The gym teacher slaps
Yeah,
the students for being mean. Her mom slaps her all the time. But it's a
yeah.
movie doesn't like. It's like, hey, if we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it full speed, like
Oh yeah.
Charlie's Angels, full throttle. Like that's how we do
Well,
things.
so many things. Yeah.
Charlie's Angels 2, full
Like,
throttle.
that's how we do things here. Nothing that happens in this movie could ever happen nowadays at all. I mean, like,
Well, let's speak about gyms, like just hitting the shower. Do you ever remember once like hit the showers
no.
and you go shower naked with a bunch of people? You know for a fact we'd be wearing bathing suits.
In the 4 years we were at high school, I don't think I saw one person take a shower once.
Never, never. You stunk through the day.
No.
You just stunk through the day.
Axe body spray.
Yeah, just loads of it.
Yeah, that's all it was just Axe body spray and, like, you splash some water in your face.
Well, the whole middle school gym with the locker room, like you walk in there and you get like, oh my god, it tastes like
Yeah.
Axe. like it was just Axe. Is that Kilo? Yeah, I think that's Kilo. Like
Well, I remember that one time they all sat us down, they're like, "Alright, guys, so, like, now that you're all getting older, you need to start wearing deodorant
yeah.
because, you don't wanna basically, like, "You smell like shit, put some fucking deodorant on, you're fucking monkey children."
Yeah, pretty
Like,
much is what they made it sound like. We were like, there's like, you guys are really making it uncomfortable for people. Like, Eric, I know you didn't
yeah.
shower at home either this week. Like, you got to shower daily. It's like, okay, never did.
Oh
like,
my god. Yeah, but it's
uh,
very different, obviously, so there's the showering and carry that's, non-realistic to today's standards, but then also slapping.
nonchalant, like just boom, 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 slap, slap, happy.
I mean, you could never have a teacher be like, "You know what?" That even if the student says like, "You're a bitch," like, "Shut up." You can't just walk up and slap her.
That's a big lawsuit. My parents are suing. It's like, okay. 2021.
Yeah.
This is why we have PG rated movies back then. Like,
Yeah. So it was, obviously, so then Carrie, we learn that she's just getting her period for the first time, but her mother is this overbearing Christian, just way too like, the craziest Christian lady.
I don't even think, I think she's just like stupid religious, like beyond Christianity or Catholicism, just straight up like insane religious.
Like, stuff that doesn't even make sense, where it seems like, did she get married to Carrie's dad and then was like, "But we're not gonna have sex?" Like, that's what I thought happened, like,
I don't even know really exactly what happened, but it was like marital rape, and she had Carrie, and I think after that she snapped into this wacko religious person.
yeah, it was like they wanna get married, but once they got married, Piper Laurie's character was like, "Well, we're not having sex because sex is sin," but then he came home drunk one night and was like, "No, I wanna have sex," and she, like, liked it, and she felt bad for liking it, so then she thought, "Well, Carrie's like a sin baby, and that's why
Hmm.
she has these powers," but I thought the whole point of, like, getting married was you ca I mean, not rape each other, but, like, you can have sex, and it's not, like, sinful in the eyes of God, so I was like, "Why is it because he raped her? Is that why? But they
I
were married?"
I don't know. I really don't. But I
Yeah.
just think that they were super religious, that it was just beyond the normal culture. Like it's insane. He came home
Yeah.
drunk. She's like, I smelled the whiskey on his breath, and I wanted
Yeah.
him. I wanted. It's like it's okay. Like that's. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
not him being forceful, but like
No.
you want, like you can have. You're married, right? Like go have fun.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
What else does she do? Oh, yeah, she talks about pimples. She's like, "Mama, it gives me pimples." She's like, "Well, pimples is just God's way of chastising you." And I was like, "Oh my god, like, how do
Well,
you live?"
she's made up her own religion. Like
Right.
this is not real. Like
No.
it's not like yeah.
She's following, like, the parts that she like she's fitting a narrative from the Bible that, like, fits her crazy insulated lifestyle.
Right, and she also collects money from people, like, door to door, and I was thinking, like, how does she afford, like, her bills? Like, it doesn't look like she's working. So, it's probably because
No.
she goes door to door and steals people's money and says it's for, like, God, and really it's just for her to eat and stuff. That's my guess, right?
Right. Yeah, she probably twists it in her head where she's like, "Well, God is having me do this so I can get." It's like you can justify anything if you just, like, say, "Well, God is making me do it," like, sort of thing.
Yeah,
So, huh.
wild.
She's a fantastic actress, and both of them got nominated for Oscars for this.
Yeah. I thought she was terrific. She was terrific in this, so
Yeah, I mean, they're very believable, very creepy, and I forgot how much Carrie pushes back on her too. I kind of felt like she was I mean, obviously in the beginning she's more meek, but then she starts saying things like, "This is normal, mama," and like, "They're breasts, mama. Every woman has a mama," and just like saying all of these
yeah.
her
Yeah,
mother.
"Don't put me in the closet, mom. I'm just trying to be normal." Like, yeah. How old's Piper Laurie? Is she still alive?
Yeah, dude. She is 89. She's
Damn.
89.
All right. Piper Laurie. I love those names too. Piper Laurie and Sissy Spacek. Like those are some
Yeah.
titling credits right there at the front. Like Piper Laurie introducing Sissy Spacek, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Really
those
cool.
are it was interesting too. Apparently, she took a 16-year acting hiatus from 1960 to 1976. So this was her first movie in 16 years, which is
Damn.
kind of crazy.
And what a movie to
Yeah.
come back to. Like they must have been like, damn, she was
Yeah.
terrifying in this movie. Like that the
And then
end
she
with
gets nominated.
the end when she's like chasing Carrie around and she's holding that knife and the low angle shots just following her. I think that's one of the greatest shots in horror history. That's my opinion.
When the knives are flying at her?
No, well, that the whole scene's amazing, but with just Piper Laurie, just that shot of her chasing Carrie, and Carrie's on the ground, and we get that POV of Piper Laurie chasing at her and following her around the house with a knife, and the piano music's playing.
Oh, yeah.
I love that
Oh,
shot.
yeah.
I love that shot. Probably one of my favorite in horror history. Like right up there with like
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson and The Shining, like the iconic shots. This should be up there. That one shot of her just
Yeah.
chasing Carrie around. Love it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it really is. Yeah, she's so deranged. She's like, she's about to kill her daughter.
Yeah.
She's gonna kill her daughter. Like, yeah, very creepy. We got to talk about John Travolta.
Yeah. John Travolta somehow has a southern accent. Mr. Carter.
Yeah, why? So Sissy Spacek is from Texas, I think. So like that makes sense that she would have a little bit of an accent, but still, it's Maine. But regardless, John Travolta's full blown like, I'm from Alabama. Like, give me a beer, give me one of them. Like he is just
I drink and drive, and if you spill my beer, I'm gonna slap you.
yeah.
Like,
He's like, what's with the accent?
I
It's
don't
so
know.
weird.
Yeah, he was good in this. I mean, it's not a huge role, but it's a role where he had to kind of play this role of some guy who's like following around his bully girlfriend and like doing what she wants him to do because literally, dude, she's giving him sexual favors to bully Carrie with her, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
why are you bullying this girl so much? Like, you know what? do sexual favors on my boyfriend so that he helps me bully. It's like, you really have a screw loose if you're that bad of a person.
Oh, she's this
Terrible.
girl's so nuts, but what she dude, the one thing I noticed this time is when she's going down on, John Travolta's character in the car or whatever, she keeps saying his name. She's like, "Billy, Billy," and, like, is she giving him a blowjob?
Is she even yeah, it's like, sorry. It's like, "I
She's
can
just
hear you
like,
breathing."
"Billy, oh" yeah, it's fully clearly, and I'm just like, "Oh, Billy, what's going on?" She's able to say, "I hate Carrie White," while giving a blowjob, and he's like, "Who?" And I
Yeah.
just like
I didn't even think of that, but dude, you think too much. That's crazy.
so, yeah, John Travolta's character kills a pig, got his gross little redneck buddy.
That's like such a like a comedy part, like the pig scene and then like the tuxedo scene when they're like going
Yeah,
like why are we breaking that wall right now? This is supposed to be like
I
like a
know.
serious horror movie. And that's like all this fast forward stuff's happening. I'm like, don't do that.
I hated
Don't do
that,
that.
dude.
I
That was so stupid.
Yeah, I hated the fact that the tux was only $10 to rent. Do you remember
I
when he's
know.
like, "How much to rent this?" Like, "That's only $10." It's like, "Damn, dude, I must have spent like $200 back at prom." Remember? Like
Oh, yeah.
renting tux for whatever place we got it from. I was like, "That is such a rip off." $10 hurt my feelings though.
I know, and then they just give him the tuxedo shirt too, which is like they even have that at a tux store? Like, come on.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I know the inflation right back then, I'm just like,
Eh,
"God damn it, dude. What happened? Why is everything so expensive now?"
yeah,
Yeah. Probably, obviously, the most iconic scene in the whole movie is the prom.
the bucket of blood. Yeah,
I feel like even if you've never seen Carrie, you still know about, like, the prom with the pig's blood and stuff like that, like,
and
that's
they're
just
all gonna laugh at you. They're all gonna laugh, and they're all laughing. The gym teacher, the friend that she had, everyone's laughing at her. It's like I think it's her mind making it seem like
yeah,
more because I'm like, why is the gym teacher laughing? She would be like freaking out. Like that's not funny.
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that was a lot of it was in her mind. I think she was just, like, seeing red, like, she was just going crazy.
It goes like full circle. She gets her period. That's when she starts getting her powers. Then she gets blood on her, and then it's like powers are just like maybe it's a blood thing. I don't know. Like her telekinesis just with blood.
It went
Yeah.
crazy at the prom. I mean, it was probably an emotional thing that triggers her too, like, she just
Well, she doesn't really know she has powers until she gets her period. So it's like she becomes a
right.
woman and she's also gaining these powers. So it's like a puberty thing. Change. It's a change that she just gets these powers from after she
Yeah.
yeah. I always thought that was cool.
Well, then she starts reading too. She starts reading about it at the school, so she learns more that there's other
Hmm.
people like her, and it's really like it's a good idea for a story.
Yeah.
It's sad, dude. It's just like that Sue Snell is really trying to do the right thing, like getting her boyfriend to go with her, even though he doesn't want to. Like, but then even he's like, you know what? Like, this really is the right thing to
Yeah.
do.
Well, she had all the power to make that prom date stop. It's, you're not going to the prom with Carrie. He's like, okay, like, and that
Who?
would be the end of the
The
movie.
teacher?
What's his name? Not Billy. The blonde-haired
Oh,
Fabio
Tommy.
guy with the like the best hair I've ever seen. Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the gym teacher should have been like, no way in hell are you going to the prom with Carrie. Like, remember they were like, no, we really want her to go with Tommy. They're in their office.
Yeah.
She should have said, put my foot down. Hell no, you're not going. That's a bad idea. People are bullying her. No. But she's like, you know what? This could be good for Carrie. It's like, no, you should have known better. Like these girls are terrible. Even though that one friend in that office was the good one at the end of the movie with the hand coming up. Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like the audience sees like the
Yeah.
good in Sue. We see that, but from the if you were just the gym teacher, you'd be like, fuck no.
Don't bullshit a bullshitter. Like straight up.
No, but it's true because like, but from the audience, we're like, "Hey, gym teacher, like, you don't really know. She's actually this is real." But like, yeah, if I was the gym
Yeah.
teacher, yeah, you're right. I'd be like,
Yeah,
"No,
the
no,
girl I see constantly get bullied every day in my gym class who just got a like every girl in the school just threw tampons in her. Well, yeah, the most popular guy in the school. Why don't you go take Carrie to the prom? That's a swell idea. No, you're not going with her. Put my foot down.
yeah."
Kick him out of prom. Like that's not funny. You're not going to prom.
But it is, it's fucked up, but like it is real. So like they do go to the prom
Yep.
and they do have a good time, and Tommy kisses her. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
it started to be like this is turning around to like actually working out, and Tommy seems like you know what, Carrie's really cute and she's nice, and that's a good thing. She's not like these other bitches in this town. I
yeah,
think it was starting to get there, but then the bullying happened with John Travolta and I forgot her name off the top of my head.
yeah,
It's crazy because it's such a that whole scene is just like oh man I wish this didn't happen like watching it so I really wish Carrie
mhm.
was happy and all this stuff got better and she was able to like leave her mom or something. Yeah, I mean, and also Carrie is probably the worst person to have telekinesis powers. like ever. Like the worst person to
Why do you
that gift be given to because of just her
why?
situation. A religious mother who puts her in a closet for 4 hours, being bullied at school like crazy. It's just unfortunate, like, I guess that it's just like as the audience, we're thinking, "Oh man, why does Carrie have these powers? She's a terrible person to have these powers because she's getting bullied and it's gonna explode," and that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, a social outcast that like, if they ever did, like, a Carrie prequel series, I'm sure we would see, like, the progression of all of her high school years and the way that that whole school treated her.
Yeah, I'm sure when she was younger, they were mean. I mean, this is like what, her freshman, junior year of high school, and like, can you imagine when she was
No,
young?
no,
What
it's
year?
her
It's
senior
her
year.
senior prom. That's right. Yeah, so it's her senior year.
Yeah,
So, oh my god, can you imagine like how much more bullying she's endured in the like in her
right.
It's insane. It's insane.
So, that's why it's like, "Hey, well, like, those kids didn't do anything." It's like, they probably did. At some point, they probably.
A prequel show would be kind of cool, but she doesn't get her powers until that moment, I think. So
Well, that's what we think.
that's what
That's what
we
we
think
think.
right now, but then in the prequel, she's always had them. Yeah, good
Dun,
idea,
dun,
Alec.
dun.
Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
but,
dun.
one thing I kinda wanna talk about, like, with our personal life, and I won't mention any names, but, dude, something kinda similar like this happened to us when we were in 3rd grade where there was a girl who was getting bullied a
Yes,
lot.
I do remember who, and I remember how bad it was, and I felt terrible. It was horrible. I never saw it. I mean, we saw it happening. What am I saying? We saw it happening as kids.
Luckily not luckily, but we weren't we weren't the
We weren't
aggressors.
the ones, but yeah,
But there was a teacher who, very similar to this movie, when they sent that girl, just like the girl and us, they sent her to the office or whatever, and the teacher sat
just
us
like
down and was like, "You
you.
guys are picking on this girl just like they did in this movie." I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, come to think of it, yeah, that was really really sad.
It was, and it's like, it's real, like, this stuff happens.
I know, I remember who the bully people were too, like, back then. It's just so
Yeah,
fu it was
I do too.
kid shit mostly, but, like, I remember, like, yeah, "Hey,
Yeah,
can you go take this to the office for us?" And she'd go, and she'd be like, "You better knock it the fuck off, like, leave her alone." It was literally that scene.
I know. Dude, it's burnt into my image, like,
Yeah,
those guys' faces when she called when our actual teacher called them out, like, by name. I was like,
mhm, like,
"Ugh."
I heard you did this, and I heard you did this, like,
Yeah.
damn. Yeah,
Yeah, so, that's the thing, bullying is real, and, obviously, we don't understand what, like, modern cyberbullying is like, but in person, when we were in the '90s, like, it was real, and
I mean, cyberbullying is a whole nother level. Yeah,
but, yeah, so, I don't know, I thought that was pretty, like, I don't know, relevant to us,
yeah.
and, the bucket, we gotta talk about the old bucket hitting Tommy.
Well, let's start with that bucket first. So that bucket looks like it's holding on by a thread.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
full of like heavy pig's blood, and I'm just like,
Oh, yeah.
can you imagine being in like a shitty cover band, and like you're like halfway through, like I'm burning, I'm burning for you, dun, 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 dun," and all of a sudden this bucket thing snaps, and just pig blood gets all over you and your bass guitar. And you're just like, I'm 35, like at a high school prom, and like I don't really like this band. I'm going nowhere, and I got fucking blood all over me because these kids were gonna bully this girl, but the rope snapped because it was barely hanging on, and it's like I got to fix my life. And he just like walks off stage, and like the prom's ruined.
Imagine if a band like, "Dude, Doug, we got a fucking gig." It's like, "What's the gig?" It's like, "It's a prom in Maine." It's like, "Dude, we live in Philadelphia, man." It's like, "It pays $600." It's like, "Yeah, between 6 of us and the drive up there." It's like, "Dude, I know, but, like, we need
You
Doug,
said to book
we're gonna
gigs, man.
drive."
You said to book gigs. Like this is the only way.
Yeah.
We got to get our start, man. Like, and it's like, all right.
It's like, "We're 35, Doug. We're 35." It's like, "I quit my job for this." Alright, it's like, "You're an alcoholic, Doug." It's like, "Alright, fuck." And then they go up there. It's like, "This is it. This is the last gig." They go up there, and then the pig's butt thing happened. They're like,
Well, no,
"Alright."
they're all like they're jamming, like everyone's dancing. Like this is actually really cool. Like this band, like these kids are like really liking our music. Like we could this could work. And then all of a sudden the pig's bucket happened. It's like man, that could have been
Yeah,
the next ZZ Top, but it was ruined. You know.
I know. Yeah, it is, like, funny, though, to think of it like that.
Well, I mean that bucket. If you look at that bucket, it's like no way is that gonna stay up there for 2 hours or whatever until Carrie goes up. Like that thing's holding
No.
on.
Yeah, especially with all of the vibrations from the instruments and stuff like that, and people.
Yeah, you expect some like drops of blood to like speckle down, like in the band is like, what the fuck is this like drops of blood falling on me? Like that's probably what would
Yeah,
happen.
I
Like,
know. No one sees it in the hours and hours and hours, but
doesn't make any sense.
I liked one of the songs that they were playing right when it came in, like, when the prom actually started, they're talking about, like, high school, it's like, "How did I survive this high school?" Like, or I was, like, listening to lyrics, I'm like, "I actually kinda like this."
Yeah, it's not bad. I also like that shot at the prom when they're, like, really spinning around and they start just, like,
Oh
spinning like
god.
crazy and crazy and faster and faster, and it's like, it's unraveling. That's what it's like. It's about to unravel. It's
Yeah.
like it's at its peak. It's about to go downhill, and it does, like, right after.
That's what makes me the saddest is when she keeps asking, it's like, "Why did you really do this to me?" It's just like, "Well, because you like my poem." It's just like, "But, like, why?" Like, she just wants him to say, "Because I like you."
But he's so close. He's like, "You know what? I like
Ugh,
you." Like, he's
I
so
know.
close.
And then he kisses her and she's like, "Oh my god." But about that shot, apparently, the camera guy got really sick after they did that shot. He, like,
It's like
had
I'm
to, like, put the camera down, sat down. He was so dizzy because they were dude, that's, like, literally 4 minutes of just, like, spinning
Yeah,
around.
he must have been on a dolly just going around and around, just like, "Oh god, oh god, oh god," like
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
and
But yeah, the bucket that hits Tommy, I did notice I had the subtitles on at the end when Sue Snell's mother gets the phone call. She's like, "No, I didn't let her go to the funeral." It's like, "Yeah, Tommy and the other kids all went or whatever." So I was like, "Oh, Tommy didn't die."
yeah, so the bucket didn't kill him. I was gonna say that just knocked him out, but he got out of the fire theater. I mean, the gymnasium.
Apparently, I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, they say that's the line at the end of the movie, so I don't know. Unless that's all a dream. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I know the book, she, like, goes on a full rampage and just, like, destroys the town and kills, like, 80 people. Like, I forgot the number,
Yeah,
but, like, I think we talked about it when we did this originally, like, it's a totally different ending.
I think it was just probably because they couldn't afford to, like, burn a whole town
You
down.
blow up the whole town. Yeah, exactly. Dude, just thinking, walking home, and she's probably not, like, right next to the school, covered in pig's blood in a prom dress. Not that I wear
Oh, yeah.
dresses, but, just covered in pig's blood, like, and walking home. That must
Yeah.
suck. Yeah.
Well, that's an iconic image too, is just her, like, red face and just, like, she's so out of it.
Uncomfortable, just the mosquitoes and bugs hitting you, like, ugh.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, think of that, like, it's probably May or June, right? And it's like, oh, the mosquitoes are out, just fucking going crazy with that pig's blood. Like, raccoons are probably
Ugh.
following you home, like, "What's that? It's a bloody got girl." Like
Well, the ending though, it is very reminiscent of Friday the 13th where it's a dream and last minute jump scare sort of thing. But the one thing that I kind of wanted to like mention is Carrie like destroys the house and kills herself and her mother. I don't know. I kind of feel like with all of the candles that were in there, there's candles on the bed, there's candles on the there's candles everywhere. I was like, I think it would have been more interesting if while they were having the fight, you see the flames like catch on the bed or something
Yeah.
like that. So the fire starts, which then causes the house to collapse in on itself while they're fighting, as opposed to, like, Carrie.
Instead, it's like Carrie's powers just, like, overwhelm the ground and there's an earthquake.
Yeah, and it's just like, why did she do that? Like, I think if the fire happened, it would've been like, "Oh, Carrie got killed in the fire too," as opposed to, like, she's like, "I'm gonna kill myself and my mama," and, like, break the house on them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, or, like, she gets trapped in that closet again and, like, which pretty much happens, but, like, just gets stuck in the closet and she can't get out as the, like, house is burning down because her mother got knocked out and knocked the candle over.
Yeah, I mean, because dude, there's, like, 150 candles everywhere in that.
Yeah, exactly. And that house doesn't look like it's well kept, so it's like, yeah.
No, something would have caught on fire real fast, and, yeah, I don't know, but it's not my novel to
Yeah,
write.
it's not
I'm not
Stephen
Stephen
King, you do
King.
your thing, you do your thing. But yeah, like you said, Friday the 13th, that's 1980, this was 1976, so
76.
originally, this had that jump scare at the end that was more original, I guess. Not that a jump scare at the end is anything invented, but it is before the Friday the 13th, like, calm lake scene where everything's nice, there's pretty music playing, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
so,
I mean, I actually prefer the Friday the 13th one, but, like, dude, Friday the 13th is just it's a full rip-off movie of so many other things,
yeah,
so
yeah.
kinda makes sense. But, what do you say you, spin the wheel, baby?
We shall. Pulling it up and spinning. Uh, all right, we got Van Helsing, the
Van
Hugh
Helsing.
Jackman.
Yeah, and Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, I remember this movie. Yeah, we also have Justin
Oh,
Gullickson as
Justin,
our
yes,
coat.
the
He's
tripod,
gonna be jumping on the
the
tripod.
tripod of the Wheel of
We
Horror.
we can finally tell our ski lift story.
I'm so excited to hear this on the show. So awesome.
Thank you everybody for listening into our episode on Carrie, and we will see you all tomorrow with Van Helsing.